afternoon, everyone. Uh, yes, I think Mr. Goel is yet to come. Dear friends, all viewers would like to welcome Mr. Madan Kak. He is the CEO, Tours Division, Minar Travels India Private Limited. 40 years of valuable experience in the industry, and we are lucky to have him here so that we can have some insights from him for our bright future in that sense. Mr. Hemant is synonym with the luxury. Everyone who knows him in the industry, everyone is aware that his stint at Oberoi and now his own venture, his own baby, the luxury river cruising. And welcome, Mr. Mendirato. We also have Ian, who from Singapore, and he has got a very niche product. Niche product means he has got a very thematic events venue, One. It's a Finnish company, and he is joining us on phone today because of some restrictions out there. And he will be sharing his viewpoints on that particular uniqueness of that event venue, and that is very unique to MICE concepts currently in Singapore. Welcome you all, and Mr. Madan, I would like to start from you, basically. Like, in case, just a second, I'll just make it before. Would like to have some insights from what you have experienced in the last 40 years. You have seen the MICE industry evolving over all these years, the tourism itself and MICE industry evolving over these years. How do you see, like, where do we stand as of today, the MICE in the country? I'm talking in MICE in India's perspective.
Okay. See, right now, there has been a temporary, I call it temporary effect of the COVID-19. Everything is stopped. Tourism, of which MICE is a very close ingredient, a very close part, was the first to be affected. And as we see it, it's going to be last in the recovery. But the future of MICE in India, it's going to be brilliant, I would say. It's going to be brilliant, Going by the, FICCI had done a survey in 2018. MICE is a 25,000 crore industry in India, which is to grow by about 8% year on year. The government of India is eyeing MICE, is eyeing 2% share from the global MICE because it's not much at this moment. So we're going to, have a very strong MICE segment in India, and the very fact that state governments are coming forward, opening their new MICE centers. We have so many convention centers in many Indian cities. The latest which was added was in Khajuraho, which we had a road show in, I think, February or March last year. It's a very good big convention complex, and the way Pragati Maidan is being redone, it will have there's a lot of investment going. It will have a seating auditorium with a seating capacity of 7,000, with so many halls for parallel sessions, and all that. The government is laying great stress on developing MICE in India. The International Convention Center, which is coming at Dwarika, which will have an auditorium to seat 10,000 people at a time, building hotels which will have around, I think, more than 3,000 beds in the convention center itself. And we're not including the available rooms in the nearby Aero City. So I think MICE, with all this investment, people who have invested, the government, the return of investment has to be there. So the MICE is going to be going to rebound. It's going to be going to rebound and will grow and will grow.
That's really good for all of us, basically, who are relying on those guys to take over and restart again.
I would add, even during this pandemic, the Indian technology, as elsewhere in the world, we came up with virtual events. I mean, that's what is happening these days, and virtual events are happening, and now we are doing hybrid also. Hybrid events all over India. Hybrid events are taking place. So I think MICE is pretty well protected. It's going to increase. It's going to increase because it's a cream de la cream segment. It's where they make money.
That's good. Mr. Mehdi, I'll just come to you on that because yours is new, innovative product, and I believe all MICE operators are always eyeing at new opportunities. So you being having working with the luxury on land earlier and now luxury on rivers, how do you see that MICE on rivers, and how you think it will be a game changer, or it is already a game changer in the country for that matter?
No, thank you very much for asking that question. In fact, if you look at the MICE, the river cruising business, it itself has been quite an experiential learning personally for me. Somebody who's actually taken holidays on river cruising, and when I entered this into this industry through Antara Cruises, it's been an experience filled with learning. There is so much latent potential, which we haven't even scratched the surface. And there is so much innovation that is happening in the river cruising business, respective to MICE, that we need to take this message home to hundreds and thousands of MICE operators that here is a product that is available, which is extremely customizable. You have to understand these river ships in India are small in size. Our ships range from 28 suites, so that means 56 guests. So pretty much you're doing a buyout of a ship. It's highly personalizable. The menus, the locations, the venues, the setups are all can be customized. You can start anytime you want to. So timing is on your side. There's extreme amount of flexibility. And it's a very intimate setting. As I was sharing earlier, what is a successful MICE event? Where all the participants are engaged. There is no distraction. And there is no better way to get them on a ship, a small size ship, intimate setting. You sail on the river, they can't escape. They can't go anywhere. There is no distraction. They have no visitors. They have no other extracurricular activities that they need to do. They're all together. We've had a couple of events in the past season, and now there are a lot many booked. In fact, the business is looking quite healthy on the books. So the amount of personalization that can be done and the intimacy that can be achieved, leading to a greater engagement with participations. I think that's what makes a big difference.
That's really nice because keeping the delegates engaged during a MICE event, that has always had been challenge for all of the operators like us, because to confine them, to make them and normally it happens that half of them are skipping certain sessions which are otherwise crucial for the whole objective of the corporate doing that MICE. So that's really good for the river cruising product. And we are lucky that you started it in the country, and it's good. I'll welcome Mr. Subhash Goel. He has just joined. Okay. Chairman.
Thank you. I apologize. I think I joined on the wrong.
No, it's perfectly all right, sir. During COVID times, everything is acceptable, sir.
No, COVID is now over. Don't talk about COVID.
Mr. Goel, I hope you didn't speak at the other session.
No, I didn't.
I'm just kidding.
Ian, would like to ask you, like, what is unique about one event venue, and if you can just share with our viewers how it's unique.
Sure. So Hone Singapore is part of the Hone group of event venues. We have in total 4 locations across the world. 2 in Finland, where our HQ is. 1 in Denmark, Copenhagen, and Singapore. I hope that y'all can hear me well because I'm calling in from the hospital where my baby boy is warded. So basically, what's unique about Hone is that we actually offer thematic meeting spaces. Primarily, our customer demographic is approximately 80% corporates. That's our customers. They come here to do AGMs, workshops, discussions, trainings, and what's unique about us is that every single room here has a different theme. So some could be themed as a forest, some could be themed as a theater, some could be themed as a tree house. So our belief is that we will give you a room that best suits your need. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say, for example, you want to break down the barriers between baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z, right? So the best way to do it would be put them in a room where it forces them to move around, to sit on swings, for example, and to break the barriers. So a room for a specific fit and function. That's what we specialize in.
You create this theme, or these are already created? Like these venues are already there, or you customize it as per the requirement of that particular event?
No, every single room is already pre-themed across all our venues.
So, malab, that is the edge you feel like, because as you said, it is targeting each segment, each generation basically, and it's confined. Malab, we can have a mix of any event where all these generations are when they are participating.
Yes.
You means you have got something to engage every component of the generation basically, all age brackets, all philosophies, all I'll say the mood of the delegates. What I'll say.
Yeah, it's more determined by the outcome of the discussion. So if it's a workshop brainstorming session, then a room which facilitates more discussion would be more suitable.
I'll come.
Mr. Bhagat, you're mute.
Really sorry. I thought. Yeah. Well, sir.
Hanji.
Regarding the prospects of mice in India in immediate future, how do you see like government policies are pushing
Well,
introduce?
we have been trying to push the government. Firstly, we wanted, at least 500 people to be there allowed, and if we can have a political rally of 500 people, why can't we have a MICE event or a conference? And then you see, all the states should have the same, protocols. We have been saying this. It is one country. There should be one protocol as far as traveling is concerned. And secondly, what we've told the government is that just like you give incentives uh, to foreigners coming to India for a MICE event, if there are domestic MICE events taking place, we should also give incentives so that people are encouraged to hold their MICE events in India rather than abroad. And we've told the government that normally, if a tourist in India spends about $500 to $600, a MICE person who participates in a MICE spends about $1,500 approximately. And this is about a $300 billion industry. And somehow India has not even scratched the surface. Although India has a huge potential for MICE, I mean, we have world-class MICE, venues, whether it's Hyderabad or it's Noida or it is, now virtually every state is trying to compete with each other on MICE events. And now, as Hemant has mentioned, we have a MICE on the river cruise also. So it's a unique opportunity. We have had held MICE events on international cruises. But now I think as long as we were expecting on this World Tourism Day, some announcement of e-tourist visas will be there and some international flights will start. But somehow every month it's getting postponed. So I think till we start getting international visitors, I think all of us need to focus on weddings, events, conferences, you see, within the country. And this will generate a lot of employment to all the people. And India has so many unique destinations that every year a corporate can organize a conference in a different destination, and and it's more economical as far as the air transport is concerned. But I think India has a tremendous future. There's a huge opportunity for MICE, and the sooner we all have our act together on this, and uh, we have done a few MICE events, but we didn't have a separate division for MICE. And this year we are in the process of preparing a separate division for wedding MICE and other events, because this is the future. You see, I mean, outbound tourism. I don't know when it will start, and nor do we know when the inbound tourism will start. So MICE will be very good alternative, because now the wedding season is coming, and Indians, spend a lot of money on weddings. I think Indian wedding industry is, there are rough estimates, but I think it will be close to $1 trillion. So the wedding industry alone, I'm not talking about meetings and conferences, but the wedding industry itself is very big, which includes all the various clothes, jewelry, and all the paraphernalia that goes with it. So I think there is a tremendous future for MICE in India, and the sooner all our travel agents and tour operators diversify towards MICE, the better it is for them. It is one very unfortunate that ICPV has a very limited membership, and we need to increase the membership of ICPV. And also, you have done very well by having this network organization, and you're not charging anything. And I think that is a great incentive for the small and medium operators, which is very good to start with. And we need to do joint bidding, all over the world on various MICE events, whether they are medical conferences or they are international trade shows. I think organizations like FIO and organizations, all the FICCI, CII, SHM, I think they are geared up now in getting, the events and conferences in India. And I think the industry needs to partner with them so that we are able to do a professional job. Now, most India is safe because, we have the world's largest vaccination drive. More than about 900 million people have been vaccinated, the largest in the whole world. And we have the world-class safety and sanitary standards in our hotels, and our airports are one of the best in the world. And so we can have this cold chain, right from the airport to the venue, and have the event and then back. I think India has a great opportunity for MICE.
As you rightly said, sir, even we at NIMA believe, and that is what we had been voicing for, that as MICE business, MICE tourism is entirely different from a leisure perspective. That is what we have been asking all the state tourism bodies to have a independent desk, at least, if not the department, who talks about MICE, because looking for MICE requirements or handling MICE demands, it requires a different mindset altogether as compared to leisure. So
Not only a mindset, you need experts.
that is the only
You
reason.
need experts. You need a software system of registration of It's I mean I have organized as chairman of the India Tourism Mart for 3 consecutive years, and I know how much effort goes into it, and how many professional people we need to hire, professional vendors we need to hire to give world class service. It's but it's a good event. It's a good event. It's a good.
But that is, sir, that is all state tourism bodies and even the Indian tourism should think that they should have a dedicated team within their offices who talks these or think about mice altogether, because we need a different set of tools, set of infrastructure for mice. So
No,
we simply can't go with
we have
the
been demanding this. We have been demanding this, and we had a lot of meetings with Mr. Suman Billa when he was Joint Secretary on this issue of having a dedicated, team within the two things we've been asking for, and everyone agrees to it, but it is not implemented. One is a disaster management group, and sort of a PR effort should be done immediately whenever a crisis like this happens. For example, the adverse publicity that we got on the second wave, it could have been avoided if we had a good PR company managing the whole thing. There were more deaths in the United States of America, but their PR, it was not shown. Whereas our media, so we need to sensitize our media also on these issues. So anyway, India is unique, so we have our unique challenges, but they also give us unique opportunities. So I think go with what they do, but necessity is the mother of invention. And now with the, I mean, we will have to diversify. I have been telling this to all ITO members, all the tour operators, that look, if you don't change according to the time, then you will not survive. Only those people have survived who have adapted themselves to change. So, technology and innovation is the name of the game. So, if we don't change into conferences, events, then I think we are missing the boat.
as you mentioned, technology, sir. I'll go back to Jan. Jan, your center is embracing technology in a big way. If you can
Yes.
just uh, let us little bit more, let us know a little bit more about what technology you people are adopting, particularly during these pandemic times and all, which is keeping these events safe.
Thanks for the question. COVID has been very hard for a venue like ours. I had to retrench half my team last year in April, and it's one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. So we've had to change because our customer requirements move towards hybrid activities or activities which are completely online. So we have, for every 10 customers we have now, probably 3 of them require high speed internet access. And when we say high speed, we're talking about 1 Gbps or 1000 Mbps with a direct connection. Because they do a very heavy streaming for Zoom out from here. They use our thematic meeting rooms as actually a studio for them to shoot their panel discussions and to stream out. So that's one kind of clientele. This is like really the high end, right? They will bring in their own separate crews in for this, and for them we provide quiet rooms as well as rooms with extremely high throughput for our internet. The other kind of customers that we have are those that are corporates who are used to having meetings in a cafe and restaurants, but now they have to meet in a facility that ours that offers dedicated meeting rooms. And for them, we have to actually equip all rooms with PTZ capability. So basically, webcams that can pan, tilt, zoom, as well as condenser microphones that can pick up the audio crisply and clearly from the audience. The original plan was to call you through one of the rooms, and you can have a look at it today. But essentially, this is like a basic requirement now. It used to be a case where conference centers could charge extra for the services. Now it's a given that it will come with with a pen tilt zoom camera setup as well as condenser microphones. So that's where the market has shifted already. It's obviously it's not all about technology. We have systems that do the check-in process, which is mandated by the Singapore government. You can check your vaccination status as well as whether you've done a test, whether you have COVID 24 hours before. It shows up on the nationwide app, which is called Trace Together. So these are some of the basic things we actually offer in our venue and what we had to move towards.
That's really good. At least that you are preparing very much that physical meetings will definitely be there. It is not going to be a distinct thing. And I, as a MICE operator, I personally believe that physical there is no you can say substitute to physical meetings. Hybrid meetings are I'll call it as a makeshift arrangement till the things get normalized. Ultimately it will be physical meetings only, and hybrid meetings will only be used to increase the reach of your audience, not more than that. Actual business will be happening during physical meetings only. This is what we believe.
Right, right. I believe something in the middle of the two viewpoints right now. So I think we used to come from a time where we would meet for every single reason whatsoever. We could have a call to solve the problem, but we will have a meeting. And now we are swinging to the point where everybody's forced to go online. So I think the end state will be somewhere in the center of both. That's my thought actually.
Mr. Madan.
Yes, please. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir. See, an important insight is required from you. Like you are in touch with your clients for whom you were arranging MICE, and also during this pandemic and now these days, how positive they are to restart their MICE activities.
Well, I mean, they are, people, those of be it a corporate or a medical conference, everybody is eager to start at the soonest possible. And we hope the restrictions on the gatherings will soon be revised, or they will go. So that we'll have more of physical, because more of physical conferences, physical events, because the charm of a physical event, is enormous, where people can meet, do networking face to face, have social evenings and all that. So people are very, looking forward to reopening of these physical events. But at the same time, to keep the corporates keep on meeting, maybe a hybrid meeting or physical, but they do accept that this is not the permanent answer. I know of a medical, conference which has been pending since last year. The attendance is 6,000 to 7,000 people. It's held in India, but they are reluctant, to do a virtual conference or a hybrid. They're waiting for the government to relax norms so they can do a physical conference.
So at the end of the day, it is the physical event which is going to sustain.
Yeah, it is. But for the short-term measure is to have a virtual or a hybrid, which is happening. But a start is being made. I'll tell you one interesting. This is that recently this hotel investment company of Southeast Conference of Southeast Asia, 2021 version. They had their. It was a hybrid, but then, everybody came for the dinner. Most of the people came for the dinner. So it is happening. It is starting.
But there is very important thing actually what I feel, and I'll seek your opinion on this. Do we think that inbound, domestic, or outbound MICE, like they can sustain in an isolation? I mean, only domestic MICE, only inbound MICE. I feel that it should be a all-inclusive growth, all-inclusive activity should be happening. So till the borders are not opening, we can't say that only domestic will survive or domestic can sustain, because the whole ecosystem works. If we talk of any corporate like Indian corporate or our clients, they will definitely not like to confine themselves to within India only. They want to have options. So we need to look beyond that once
Of
borders
course.
open up.
Of course, people are waiting. The corporates, the big companies, who give their staff or their dealers incentives and all that. They're waiting for borders to open so that they can travel abroad. Outbound MICE, which is a very big sector, and it's not possible. With the inbound, it cannot be sustaining to do only inbound tourism or to do only domestic tourism, because it has some inhibitions, because the people doing only inbound, they will have to have a relook at doing some MICE also, because now after the pandemic is over, the border restrictions, international border restrictions are gone. It will take time to get back to the pre-COVID levels for the inbound traffic. One of the major countries, which was China, we used to get large number of tourists from China, Latin America, and all that. It will take time for them to rebound, to send their people out of their countries. So people who are doing this business will have to shift, will have to incorporate MICE in their business module, definitely. Yeah.
Mr. Medirata, I will come to you on this. Like as Mr. Goyal has also agreed that wedding is an equally important vertical in our tourism industry besides MICE and all. So as far as your product is concerned and Tara Cruises are concerned, how do you see like weddings, or if you weigh like weddings or MICE or both? So what do
Both.
you feel like how it will go?
So, Mr. Goyal also said, and I read somewhere that in India they spend 17% of their lifetime income on a wedding of their children. So the amount of money that is being spent on weddings is that is why we call it the Great Indian Fat Wedding. And the entire world is now looking at these weddings to come to their properties and hotels. So, and we are no different. So, wedding also comes in India with wedding-related events. So, considering we are in Calcutta, which is also a hub of a community which spends lavishly on weddings, there are at least 7 events that happen with every wedding, which range from 100 packs onwards, and their weddings could go up to 3,000, 4,000 packs in good times. So clearly there is a definite market there, and we've seen a couple of events happening with us in last season, and the number of queries that are there for wedding-related events, because wedding-related events, which is 100 packs, etc., considering we are a small ship, that is fairly high. Apart from that, you also see, the advantages of doing an event on a intimate cruising experience. These are all inclusive. So if I'm a MICE agent, I go to ship owner and talk to them, and it's basically done on turnkey basis. So it's all inclusive. There's no much of legwork required. The vendors are all the ship does everything. Again, I mentioned to you, even if you do wedding related events and you're sailing, look at the engagement level of the participation there. They can't go anywhere else. They don't have anything else to go to. They just stick together. The family bonding that happens on these events, not like just meetings, but family bonding that happen is of another level. And there are spectacular venues. We used to say, when we build hotels, what will customer pay you a premium for in the future? Can you incorporate that in the architecture of the hotel? And one of the things that, based on research, was natural light. Now, come to think of these, river cruises are full of natural light everywhere. How many meeting venues or ballrooms do you see who have got so much of natural light? It just elevates the whole place. You can transform a ballroom to anything. You can transform a venue on a ship to anything that you want. And there are multiple venues. You can even do it on the top deck. You can do it in the restaurant. You can do it in the galley. So these are experiential venues, and the you want the guests to remember. In weddings, it's a one-upmanship in every wedding. It's like whose wedding was better. So that hence they compete on food. I had 101 desserts, you know. So similarly, in if you do a spectacular venue in which the scenery changes every second because you're moving and you're engaged and you're with friends and family and loved ones, there could be no better venue. Also, water seems to have a calming effect on us for two reasons, because 70% of our bodies are water. And number two, before we are born, we are in water, surrounded by water in the mother's womb. And that's the psychological reason why water gives you peace, tranquility, and gives you a feeling of elevation. So once you're on the water and you're in a cruise, which is like a luxury cruise like Antara,
Wow.
the feeling itself is far beyond economics.
So that's really good. And
Hemant, you're a good salesman.
there is no doubt about it. His career is all about that only. Hemant,
Thank you.
one more thing about this, like current government seems to be very passionate about promoting river cruising, and Modi is always saying on this Varanasi, Calcutta, and all those. So how do you see, like, are those policies really beneficial on perspective to the MICE policy which government of India has brought up? Have you ever tried that river cruising be subsidized in some sort of MICE events happening? Because you have,
So,
yeah,
yeah, and a good question you asked. I don't know if you know this, but like you have national highways, there are national
whatever.
waterways. And national waterway number one is the Ganga. There are 110 national waterways defined by IWAI. How many of these waterways have cruise ships? Maximum three. There may be small ferry boats, etc., in the others. But look at the vast latent potential we are sitting on. There are so many navigable rivers where we can do cruising. A lot of state governments actually connect with us and want to do river cruising. So our message is only one. Listen, considering being one of the largest river cruising companies in the country, please come and talk to us. We'll be more than happy to advise you how you should frame your policy, what is the infrastructure that you require, because all the permissions, the government has to do nothing. The state governments have to just give permissions. Like if a river is going and one side is the forest, tomorrow the river changes course because it's a moving river, right? So that forest, then half the restriction comes because the forest department doesn't let you do things in that. Similarly, the revenue department will not let you do half the things. So you have to combine your forces and say, hey, we really want river cruising in our states. We'll be more than happy to give absolute complimentary service on advice on how to bring about river cruising in those states. Number two, on the central government, river cruising needs to get a separate allocation. Firstly, it needs to be a separate head, or at least on your website. Then some allocation of a fund to say, let's promote river cruising. Again, 110 rivers, waterways defined by IWI in India, and only three or four have ships. So clearly, you can see the gap on the potential. It's also slow moving business. It's not mass market. So obviously it's a niche segment. It takes time to build up, but when it builds up, look at the effect on the economy. And I'll give you an example. We buy all our local produce from wherever we sail. We stop at places which are small villages. So we are buying vegetables from them. We are buying, when we go to Sundarbans, we are buying mud crabs from them. We are buying poultry from them, eggs from them. We go sightseeing to places which are unheard of. We have bought e-rickshaws and given to those people so they can fly. The direct and indirect benefit of this is far, far greater, and you can't even compute it, because we take river cruising to really untouched destinations where these are non-normal tourist destinations, because these are small villages. And we take people to go inside the village and they'll buy stuff from them. So, it's a long play game on river cruising.
Well, we have to go a long way. That means that's for sure, and we are going to stay
I
for
think that
long.
if the intent is right, we are more than happy to assist anybody who wants to get into river cruising.
That's good. Jan, one last and quick question from you. Like, what are your plans for, like, whenever border opens, what are your plans for eyeing MICE operators or MICE business from India? Well, I'm talking of Indian perspective.
Can you say the question again? Sorry.
See, what are your plans to promote your venue to Indian MICE operators or MICE business from India?
Right. I would say our customer profile has largely been corporates. Destination agents are not really a key attraction for, or rather not a core profile, but it's definitely an area that we're looking to branch into. We definitely do welcome tourists and business travelers from India as well. But typically they come as part of a larger MNC that does a global meeting, for example, in Singapore. We've held a lot of them where they bring leaders from all across the globe and they do their global or regional meetings here in Singapore. That's quite common for us, and we definitely want to grow that pile, that side of the business again once the borders reopen.
So that's good. Goel sir, one quick question. Like, as you are representing most of the short haul, long haul airlines with you, during recent research and opinion by what we call as industry pundits, they say that around 35 to 40% of business travel will never return. So, well, how does your airlines feel about it? Is it really going to happen?
No, I beg to disagree with this because you see, right now we are operating three, four of our airlines under air bubble. We are operating United Airlines. We have daily flights, twice daily flights, one to New York, one to Chicago from Delhi, one daily flight from Bombay, and we have just started Sri Lankan Airlines, and the response is very good. In fact, Sri Lankan airline is the best airline for MICE, and we have been getting a lot of even now, even as of today, I have a request for about 150 rooms for a MICE event in Sri Lanka. So the whole idea is that the advantage of airlines, an airline like Sri Lankan, is that it flies from Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Bangalore. So people from all over India, big corporates, they don't have to come fly to one place and then go to an international destination, right? They can fly from all these destinations, and it's short haul. It's just from South India. It's about half an hour or 40 minutes flight. From Delhi, it's about 1.5 hour to 2 hours flight. 2 hours flight from Delhi and 2.5 hours from Bombay and 1.5 hour from Mumbai. So I think airlines play a very important role in MICE and also in business travel because if you have two flights a day or long haul, if you have daily flights, then one can go in the morning, finish his business, and take the next flight back. Similarly, you see, now we have got a request for a wedding in Ukraine, because the visas are open, right? And and they are accepting. About 60 countries are accepting both Indian vaccines, right? And they have opened, doors to. My problem is seats, and that is why we are fighting with the government to start opening, e-tourist visas and schedule international flights. And whichever minister I've met in the civil aviation or in tourism or anywhere, I have told them that this COVID is not going to go. The third wave may come, fourth wave may come, fifth wave may come. But we have to be prepared for it, right? Just like if you go to, Africa. Now, Ghana, there is a MICE event going on right now, right? And our Ethiopian airline, we have flown a lot of passengers to Ghana for the MICE event. So what I'm saying is that airlines play a very important role in MICE, whether it's domestic MICE or international. So it is a good idea to have a complete package, including the airfares, to the corporates, along with whatever the tourism board offers or the particular hotel is able to offer, so that the it's a competition going on all over the world, and this business the whole world is competing. India is not alone. All our neighboring countries, including Singapore, including Malaysia, Thailand is our biggest competitor. I know at least 10 weddings which I have personally, handled in my company has handled in, Pattaya, in Bangkok, in other places. So I think there is a great opportunity in neighboring countries to tie up with airlines, and you have to have an event, which coincides with arrival departures. If the flights arrive early in the morning, uh, you save one night's hotel. So a lot of planning is done, taking the airline network into consideration, and that is why most of the international cruises that we represent, they leave in the evening, so that all the people who have to come can come either a night before or early morning the same day. And so you see, the whole we represent El Rosa, which is European river cruises, and I think river cruising is a beautiful, opportunity, and it's very cost effective. I mean, if you see that, uh, I mean, I, I mean, we personally take a cruise. My son-in-law, daughter-in-law, they fly from Singapore. Some of our relatives fly from there. So we take a cruise every year, and even it's a small group of 10, 15 people or 20 people. But as Hemant said, that the bonding that takes place, the amount we enjoy with our grandchildren on the cruise, we never enjoy in our life. You see, so what I'm saying is that airlines and are very important for any destination wedding or any other event, because if there is no connectivity, then how will people reach there? So you cannot have tourism or MICE without air connectivity.
Uh, we agree, sir. Basically, we do have all the components which are there, but we just need to get them into properly inserted into the ecosystem so that everyone gets connected, synergize, and then we can expect better
Right
results.
now, we all have to use all our personal resources with the members of parliament and with the PMO and others sending Twitter messages every day to reopen e-tourist visas on citizen. And one question to our friend from Singapore: if for MICE event we want to organize in Singapore, do we have to go 2 weeks of quarantine, or you can make exceptions? See, for fully vaccinated passengers who have received both the vaccines, right, and who are maintaining, the protocol of mask, right? In Singapore also now, in Delhi also, if you are caught without a mask, there is $2,000 fine. In Singapore, I believe it's $200 fine. So you have to start, tourism. Otherwise, I'm telling you, I don't know about Singapore. It's a small island, but in a place like India, more people will die of economic starvation than will die of COVID-19. I can assure you that. So we need to restart the economy. We have to learn to live just like in Africa. We go with a yellow fever or a common cold. It's another type of common cold, which is more dangerous because we have not found the vaccines. Now we found the vaccines. We have to allow international travel. Even now, most of our hotels. I mean, I went into one of the Roy Hotel and one of the other hotel with my wife, and we had to carry our vaccine certificates with us, because without that, even when you are doing the reservations, right? Uh, I mean, you can't unless you are fully vaccinated. So I think these protocols Singapore should start, because you are losing a great opportunity.
Yeah, I think
Switzerland
it's
has
a
started. Switzerland has started. Your Germany has started. France only on fifth or sixth of October. There's a big medical conference taking place in Nice. I have, there are at least 10, 15 doctors I know of personally who are taking business class or first class tickets and flying to Nice. So there's a huge opportunity, and Singapore is dependent a lot on tourism and MICE. So please put pressure on your government to start.
We
Thank you for the
every
point. Yeah, we definitely must do that.
everyone is hoping for borders and visas, sir. Everyone is
No,
desperately
but
looking for that.
India looks at Singapore. The moment Singapore will start, next day India will start.
See, whole of Southeast Asia is looking for Singapore because they have got better protocols set, but somehow that cases increase,
Cases will
and they
get